There's a name you probably haven't heard much lately, and that's actually by design. Liza Koshy, the young woman who became one of the fastest-growing creators in YouTube history, has spent the last several years doing something most people in her position never do. She walked away from the attention on purpose, and it worked out better than almost anyone could have predicted. If you were on the internet around 2016 or 2017, you could not escape Liza. She was funny, she was warm, she had this energy that just came right through the screen. She hit 1 million subscribers faster than almost anyone before her. She was dating one of the biggest names in the influencer world. She was everywhere. And then, gradually, she wasn't. So what actually happened and where is she now? That's what we're going to talk about today. Liza Koshy was born and raised in Houston, Texas, and she first started getting attention on a short video app called Vine, which a lot of younger viewers might not even remember. Vine was this platform where you had exactly 6 seconds to make someone laugh or feel something, and Liza was remarkably good at it. She had a gift for physical comedy, for voices, for characters. When Vine shut down in 2017, she had already moved to YouTube, and that's where things really took off. Her YouTube channel became a sensation. She was doing skits, she was doing challenges, she was doing these character-based videos where she'd play multiple roles. The comment sections were full of people saying she was the funniest person on the platform, and she was reaching millions of people, not just teenagers either. She had broad appeal because her humor wasn't mean-spirited. It was goofy and physical and warm. Around that same time, she was in a relationship with David Dobrik, who was building his own massive following through a series of fast-paced vlogs with a group of friends called the Vlog Squad. A lot of people actually discovered David through Liza because she appeared in his videos, and her audience followed her there. She genuinely helped launch him into that upper tier of YouTube fame. They dated from around 2015 to 2017, and when they announced their breakup in a video that they posted together, it became one of the most watched videos on the platform at that point. People were genuinely sad about it. They had been a beloved couple online. After the breakup, something shifted for Liza. She's talked about this in interviews, and she's been pretty open about the fact that she was heartbroken. But she's also said that the period after the breakup was when she started to understand what she actually wanted out of her career. She had been making these videos, playing these characters, fitting into this very specific box that YouTube and her audience had built around her. And she realized that if she wanted to grow as an actress, she needed to step outside of that box entirely. She mentioned in a recent interview that the YouTube years, as successful as they were, felt isolating. She was doing an enormous amount of work, largely on her own. She talked warmly about a friend named Kristen, who was part of the Vlog Squad circle at the time and who helped film her videos. She also referenced, without naming him, what sounds like a nod to David, saying there was a boy who helped her during that period too. She doesn't seem to have hard feelings. She just seems like someone who processed it, grew from it, and moved on. The decision to step back from social media wasn't impulsive. She's talked about it as a strategic and personal choice. She felt that being constantly visible was actually limiting how people saw her. When you post every day, and your audience sees every meal and every mood and every joke, they put you in a category. And once you're in that category, it is very hard to be seen as anything else. She wanted people to see her as an actress. And she understood, perhaps better than most, that in order for that to happen, she had to stop giving them the other version of herself so freely. There was also a business detour along the way. Around 2020, when a lot of influencers were launching their own beauty brands, Liza partnered with a company called Shimoa to create a line called One of One. They had cream blushes, liquid highlighters, lip stains, skincare. It launched during the pandemic, which was already a difficult time to launch anything. The brand stopped posting by 2021, and the partner company also went quiet around 2022. It doesn't seem like it ever gained real traction, and Liza hasn't spoken much about it. It reads like an experiment that didn't pan out, and she appears to have moved on from it without much fanfare. What she was focused on the whole time was acting. And this is where the story gets genuinely impressive. She has quietly built a resume that includes working alongside some very significant names. Nicole Kidman, Zac Efron, Joey King, Sabrina Carpenter. These aren't cameo appearances or web series. These are real film productions with serious studios behind them. Most recently, she had a voice role in a Netflix animated film called K-pop Demon Hunters, which turned out to be one of those pleasant surprises that streaming platforms occasionally produce. Netflix reportedly did not expect the film to perform the way it did, and it went far beyond their initial projections. It became something people were genuinely talking about in their households. She also appeared in a comedic film called The Naked Gun, which was a reboot of the classic comedy franchise. Both of those films received nominations during this past awards season. At the Critics' Choice Awards, Liza posted about both films winning in the respective categories, and she was clearly thrilled. Her caption about The Naked Gun said something along the lines of, "There are losers, and we are not one of them." Congratulations to this massive village of nutcases. That sounds exactly like the Liza people remember, just applied to a completely different context. She has also maintained a long-term partnership with Dior, the French fashion house, for over 5 years now. That is not a small thing. Dior is selective. The fact that she has held that relationship for that length of time says something about how seriously the brand takes her and how she presents herself publicly. When she posts for Dior, the comments are full of her old fans saying things like, "I missed your videos," or "Who is this fancy little woman?" Or simply, "She leveled up." The nostalgia is real, but so is the admiration. She has addressed the criticism that came her way when she started stepping back from YouTube. Some people accused her of abandoning her audience for bigger paychecks, of chasing Hollywood money. She pushed back on that directly. She pointed out that YouTube was actually where the money was at the time she was posting. Going into acting was not the financially safe choice. It was the dream. It was what she actually wanted to do. She wasn't running toward money. She was running toward something she believed in, even when it was uncertain. And she said something else that stuck with me. She talked about how artists sometimes have to disappear a little in order to reappear as something more. When you are so visible and so beloved, there comes a tipping point where the public starts to turn. Not always for any particular reason, just because too much of anything, even someone genuinely lovable, starts to wear on people. She saw that pattern and she chose to get ahead of it. And looking at where she is now, it's hard to argue with the logic. You can see a similar thing happen with Emma Chamberlain, if you follow YouTube at all. Emma was so present, so online, so beloved as a creator. And then she pulled back. And in doing so, she created space for people to see her differently. She's at the Met Gala now. She's in films. She's moved into a different category in the public imagination. Liza did something comparable, and she did it earlier. As for the world she left behind, it's worth noting briefly that things in the Vlog Squad orbit have not been simple. David Dobrik has been trying to stage a vlogging comeback, with mixed results. He is also currently involved in a serious lawsuit brought by a former collaborator named Jeff Wittick, who suffered significant injuries during a stunt that David orchestrated for a video. The details of that situation are complicated and ongoing, but it is safe to say it has cast a shadow over that whole chapter of internet history. Liza has not commented on any of that publicly, and she doesn't appear to have any need to. She has moved far enough away from that world that it simply isn't her story anymore. There's something genuinely interesting about watching someone build a second act this deliberately. She was famous before she was 25. She could have kept doing exactly what she was doing and made a very comfortable living. Instead, she gambled on herself in a different arena, accepted that people would misunderstand the move, stayed quiet while the work built up, and now she's standing in front of 2 Critics' Choice wins and a Dior contract, and a set of film credits that include some of the bigger names in Hollywood. So what do you think? Did you follow Liza back in her YouTube days? Have you seen any of her recent work, whether it's K-pop Demon Hunters or The Naked Gun? And do you think this kind of intentional stepping back is something more creators should consider, or does it only work for certain personalities? I would really love to hear your thoughts down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. There's a lot more where this came from. I'll see you in the next one.